10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is a fun collaboration between ourselves at the Horror Hour and with RJ at the Silver Sight Network. So, first off, if you don't know, my name is Yutaka, and we're going to talk from season 2, episode 2. But first off, we'll introduce everybody. So, how are you today, RJ?
I'm good. I'm here. I'm ready to talk spoilers and theories. I definitely enjoyed the episode. I can't wait to break it down with everybody today.
Awesome. I'm not sure if I really enjoyed it, but we'll get into it. All right. And then next we have Desiree. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. How are you?
Work day's done, doing pretty good. Jay, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic, man. I'm ready to talk about this episode.
Amazing. Killer Cam. Oh, I can't talk today. So how are you, sir?
I'm good, but more questions. I'm ready to jump in.
And first time here, how are you, Monique?
I'm good. Like Cam, I'm ready to jump in. I have so many things to say.
Well, I mean, this is an interesting episode. This was very dialogue heavy, but it still did move the story forward a bit. So this episode is called Kindness of Strangers. Brief synopsis: a tense night in the diner as the residents and newcomers wait for sunrise. Fear permeates the wreckage beneath the Matthews house, their own fault, just adding that in, as Jim and Tom struggle to keep a panic bus passenger quiet. So overall, I'll go next. Desiree, what were your thoughts?
I just thought just the episode in general was very, I don't know, if I could describe it in one word, I would say sketchy.
Okay, all right. I like that. Jay, if you could describe this one in one word, what would you describe it as?
Stressful.
All right. How about yourself, Killer Cam?
Chaos. Complete chaos.
And Monique?
I have 2 words. Shut up. Everybody, just shut up.
I think that is fair because some of these people getting on my last nerve. So I broke this down into sections of the pairs of how we see them. So we'll kind of talk about Boyd's journey, because I'll be honest, his journey frustrated me the most. So we're back with Boyd, and he's introduced to Martin, the old man in the chains, searching around. And I do love that Martin tells him he thought the town was the worst part. And he asks, did you come through the tree? And explains, can take you many places. When you get trapped, that's when they get you. So first off, not that we know, but I'm curious, what could be worse than the town? I mean, aside from death, I'm just curious.
With this situation, in my opinion, I feel like the fact that the monsters are the tip of the iceberg, it makes me think that we're not dealing with any entry level anything here. If the monsters are literally like the cashier, I want to know who is the store manager. Like, because for them to be that intense, that scary, and for them to just be the tip of the iceberg, I'm kind of scared to find out what else is out there. Spiders and anywhere trees and
we don't need to bring in spiders into this nonsense. Let's pump those brakes. No, we're good.
I agree.
And so, of course, Martin still continues and pleads for Boyd to kill him. But as we talked, Boyd notices he was a Marine, and you know what? You leave no man behind. Thoughts on that one?
It's very interesting that we find out that he's a Marine, although it's kind of like, who cares at this point, Yeah. But at the same time, it kind of helps with what he said. Like, this whole thing is basically the tip of the spear. That's a military, term. My dad's in the military.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
That actually
Oh,
is, yeah. So
okay.
that's something to consider. So it's like, dang, if this is the tip of the spear, like what else is going to happen? What else is possible?
Oh, I like that. And then, of course, Boyd starts looking for something to break the chain, shows them the talisman that'll protect them from the creatures in the woods. And then, of course, Martin tells them, yeah, they're not the worst. But then we hear the music box playing. And Monique, I'm going to give you, when you heard that music box, what was the first thought you had going through your mind?
Leave him there. Shoot him, do whatever you gotta do, but leave him there and go. I don't know where you're going. Don't be there, because if he's saying there's something much worse out, who is they?
Yep.
Like, if there's something much worse out there, I'm not gonna be there. So that was my thing.
Yeah.
That's great proactive thinking.
And here's what frustrates me. Not only does Boyd like, oh, that music, he searches for it and picks it up.
That's not black. We don't do that.
Like, this is not The Conjuring, sir. You don't need to be like, they did that.
Objects. That's not cultural. No.
Oh my God.
I was
Unrealistic.
Like, that's not marine-like, huh?
Yeah.
But it is.
And of course, then Boyd goes back to breaking the chains, gets one hand free. But my favorite part is when Martin asks Boyd, do you ever wonder if Abby was right?
Yeah.
That freaked me out. Because how you in my business? How you know that? Like, how you know that?
How you know that?
It gave me chills. I was like, oh, I like when they do that. But then I was like, oh, something's going to happen. And sure enough, Martin just keels over. Of course, when he does, he, now I'm messing up on my own writing, but Boyd sees the things in his arm that are similar to what we saw in season 1 with Sarah. And so when the music stops, he keels over, scratches Boyd, and he says his blood is now in Boyd's. And of course, that gets all messed up. And I don't know about you, but at that point, if he wasn't dead, I would have shot him right there.
Yeah.
But what it did for me was it gave me more questions. So how the hell did Sarah get it?
We still don't know.
Yeah.
Again, that's not an answer we all have.
Yeah.
Sarah's been missing for 2 episodes. I mean,
Yeah.
Where you at, Sarah?
But then with that also kind of reminded me, though, it's just kind of like, because I know pretty much everyone that's right here right now, when he said kill him, the focus would have been, okay, you know a lot, tell me what you know, and then I'll waste you. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Have straightforward. He said, this is just the tip. What have we not seen yet?
Exactly.
And why are you scratching me, putting stuff in my arm? So now the question is, free will should have told me to kill you, so you didn't have a chance to put that in me. Because I feel like that's some sort of rule or something.
Yeah.
If they kill you, it's good. It ends there. But if you don't, you have to infect them. Who knows? That's why I mean, like, keep your hands to yourself.
well, to back up Cam, I think he's on to something, because, it seemed like, there's a part of this has to be passed on. And that could be a part of that, ritual or thing that he was trying to do, or just trying to, because I don't know, he seemed a little too desperate. Like he was trying to tell Boyce like something like, hey man, you gotta go. But I don't know why he did that. It's just that I think there's a lot more substance to why he gave him his blood. So maybe he's like the savior, or maybe he's trying to end the curse with Boyd or something. I don't know.
Boyd wasn't asking enough questions for me. He was too focused on freeing him and trying to be the hero. Sir, you are in a supernatural situation. You don't, the fact that this man is a Marine, simplify all of that, yeah, great. We need to figure out what's going on. You had ample time to get answers, and you didn't. Like, you fumbled, man. I don't know. Like, I feel like everybody between Fatima, between Tabitha the megaphone last episode, and Boyd, like, my blood pressure was through the roof. Like, why aren't you guys trying to get answers? Do you not want to get home? This man was so fragile. He literally could have just pulled himself off the wall. Like the cuffs were too big for his wrist at that point. You probably didn't have to break him. You could have just spit on the man's wrist and slid him out at that point. And you're over there asking questions about him being a Marine. Sir, get the answers and get out of here.
Yeah.
Well, I'm with RJ on that too, because strictly, I've been saying it since the first episode of the season. It's still a great show. But why is no one asking questions, especially like Tabitha? You know, and that's my thing is that Elgin's one thing right now. I mean, he's still making me mad because he decided to take a nap. But besides that, I just think that we need to find out what is going on with everything, because there's still no clues to anything. We haven't gotten any type of substance. So,
and maybe that's the thing. That's what I was gonna ask. Like, is that the thing? Is that part of the entity, those that we cannot name at this time? It seems like they do feed off some chaos and fear here. It feels like they need them amped up, like in Jeepers Creepers, like smelling and trying to get the fear from them to determine whether they want it or not. This is a lot. I'm feeling like there's all types of stuff going. Like, it's just weird.
Yeah, I can't excuse Boyd. I don't know what because he went on a journey to find answers. But in terms of the people in the town, do you guys think that they're not asking questions in the town because they have given up, because they've tried to find their way out of that situation so many times, and then they couldn't, and they were just like, just forget asking questions now. It is what it is.
It could be trauma. Trauma is not letting them think clearly, because like you said, he set out for answers. So why didn't you ask questions when you could have asked them? It might be trauma response.
Well,
there's no excuse for Boyd.
We don't know how long they've each individually been there. So I think that might have some, like, I think some are, I don't think many are looking for answers, but I do, because I think some have become complacent. So be interesting to see.
And homeboy Martin on the Wall did say that, how did he word it? It was worded in a weird way. But basically it was just kind of like, also implying that this is the tip of the spear, what we have not seen. What if the thing that's worse is the human condition? Because we saw everybody showing their entire asses this episode and the last episode. Sorry for cursing.
I'm gonna be quiet on that, since
I think that's a good point. But also I don't think there's like at least right now, I don't think there's like a center core for what we're trying to find. I think everything that we find is going to be a clue for something that's just as important, but it'll keep going. That's gonna, I don't know, add up to everything that we might find out about the town.
Yeah, no, I would agree. And, you know, speaking of that too, you know, Boyd does leave through a door, which I saw this coming and I still liked it, or I enjoyed it. But he goes through the door and suddenly now he's in the forest. And that damn dog appears, which I'm happy the dog seems nice and is clearly just taking him to safety, or at least to where he needs to be. But that's all I gather from that.
I think the dog is a spirit guide, because aren't foxes in some folklores meant to be like guides to the other side? Yeah. Maybe this dog or these animals that are there like, maybe they serve a spiritual purpose to maybe kind of combat the evil that's there. Maybe, I don't know. But then Sarah could also be Elgin.
I think
no. You know what? That's perfect. That's a perfect segue into our next part. Victor and Tabitha, and some special guests. But Victor and Tabitha. This one, oh man, Tabitha still can't shut up, in my opinion. And I know that's terrible, but time and a place, Tabitha. Time and a place. But Victor and Tabitha are out from the underground trying to get back to town. It's now dark outside. You could hear the monsters scream. So at this point, they need to find a place to hide. And Victor points them to the direction of a trailer. And what were your first thoughts once they were inside the trailer and you started to see all these things, like somebody had been there previously?
I was just like, good old Victor. Boy, he coming through with the save once again. He got places. I bet you that is not his only place within that town that he has like set up for stuff. But I was at that point, I was like, good old Victor always coming in. You all right. You all right.
I'm now thinking of the comment somebody said last week where he was turning tricks to survive, and now you're saying he's got multiple places set up.
Who said that?
No.
Sorry, but the way you said that, it reminded me of that person's
That's
comment.
probably
Sorry.
where he was turning them tricks out at too.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just
That's
saying.
right up.
RJ, he's been there a while.
He's been there a
He's been
minute.
there. He's been there a while.
He knows how to stay safe without a talisman, because when he was in those woods, he didn't need one to avoid them. He know them. They
Hey,
saw
wait.
him.
Hold on. Didn't when they were in the trailer towards the end, didn't they say that wasn't, I don't know if it was Victor in that picture. I think they said it was just another boy that lived in that town. I could be wrong. I may have heard that wrong.
Child. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He claimed he was his friend. But I do have a critique of Victor. Okay. So he's been there the longest. He's been there since he was a child. He's been drawing those photos since he was a child. Why has his art not gotten better?
Stop it.
I feel like if you've been drawing for that long and you still suck, you're the reason why we're still here. I feel like if you drew a clear picture, they'd be out of there by now. If he learned how to stage,
way, I would say Victor's simple. You know, I think he was so traumatized.
Yeah, he's still got a childlike mind because he's been there for so long and seen so much that, you know, he's never really gotten that chance to have that time to grow because he's always got to worry about this or that. So, and plus, I'm pretty sure there's no art teacher that came through there who was like, "Hey, Victor, you want to learn that?"
Hey, stop drawing.
Yeah.
I want to know where all the crayons and markers come from, but maybe that's asking too much.
He had a lunchbox, probably.
Like
Don't our
30
kids
years
have
of crayons.
lunchboxes full of markers and stuff? Like,
But he's like 50 now. Like,
No way
That's
that'd
like
still
30
be
years
good.
of crayons. Like something had to run out by then. And the way he be drawing all hard and stuff, like ain't no way he ready to get one of the crayons.
no way.
Hey, Victor got them hot spots, man.
He does.
Well, and then of course, obviously, you know, Victor tells this is his stuff. He comes here from time to time. Again, she needs to be quiet. She doesn't.
She's never.
But he searches for food. Tabitha's wondering how long they've been there. But and it kind of backtrack. They do talk about the boy that Victor saw that warned them or warned him, but we don't get too much further in because we've seen the boy before, and Ethan has seen that boy previously, but we don't know who that little, you know, kid is. I don't like kids. I was going to say something rude,
creature,
but...
right? He's like an entity or something like that. He's not a creature, right?
he's the leader. I feel like.
Nope. Hey,
No way he's running through all those woods and not getting that outfit dirty. I don't trust that kid.
Right.
Yeah, it's always kids.
his christening outfit.
Mm-mm.
Oh my gosh, it's like Boy from Little Monsters. That's who he is.
Yeah, I don't know
And
if it's his friend or what.
And no adults have seen him, have they? I don't think any adults.
No.
Well,
Just
outside of Victor,
Victor.
but
I think only
he
Victor.
changes.
No,
He sees
Tabitha
things
hasn't.
differently.
Tabitha hasn't seen him, right? Tabitha has seen two other.
Mm-hmm. She's seen two others, yeah.
Okay, yeah, she saw it. She didn't see that boy. It was a different one. Something like that.
Well, leave it to Boyd to suddenly appear and show up. Convenient. I'll take it. That's fine.
Yeah.
Talisman.
And he's got a talisman, but then out of nowhere, of course, Elgin appears.
Ugh.
I knew that was coming. They're very suspicious, but they can clearly tell he's not a monster, so they let him in. And I do love because they're like, "Well, who are you?" He's like, "I was on the bus." And they're like, "Huh?"
Yes.
Now, if you were in everyone else's shoes and you heard I was on the bus, what are your first thoughts considering this town and dwindling resources?
I'd be like, we on the bus. We about to go home?
I'd be like, oh no,
Yeah.
the food. the
I'd be like,
water.
more people. Oh God.
I would pray somebody would have brought alcohol.
Right.
Hey, well, that's what Donna's for.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I love Donna.
Same.
She's stressed.
So, of course, Victor, of all the people to be suspicious, Victor also does not trust Elgin, which I don't necessarily agree with because while Elgin can be frustrating, I don't think he's a terrible character so far. Like, nothing about him. Obviously, it's a new person, but I don't think they've ever been so untrusting of other newcomers. Like, I guess, sure, he's running through the night and he's surviving, but still.
My thing is like, who the hell are you, Victor, to not be liking someone with all the weird stuff you be doing and saying and scaring people with your lunchbox? Like, who are you?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like, who made you the authority of who's cool or not? I
would be on Victor's side because Victor been here the longest. He know what's up. I'd be like, Victor, you don't like him. I don't like him. Let's figure out what's going on, who he is, what he's doing here. We are a team.
They're not asking him the right. They don't ask the right questions.
They don't.
And that just kind of speaks to it because they don't take. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I was just saying, you see, they don't take him seriously. They are condescending towards him. They treat him, obviously differently. So they're not asking the right questions. But I'm with Mo. It's like that's the person you should be paying attention to.
Yeah, no, I do agree with that because Victor's one of those characters, even though he's still important, but if he can tell or detect the presence of something or someone, then you might want to pay attention to what he's saying. So
I feel like he's not saying enough, though. We say Elgin isn't, but why don't you trust him, Victor? Versus
because he knew I don't know him.
I would have to agree though with Devin,
I barely know y'all.
Like Victor talks in terms of his drawings, but he never like
whack ass
gives you anybody a clue of what's going on in his brain. So it's I don't know. Like I like Victor, he's been the longest, but sometimes he can just be a straight up dick.
Yeah.
But I also feel like too, maybe Victor doesn't say as much because he's been dubbed as the weird guy and he's been outcast for so long. In the beginning, Jim thought he was trying to kidnap his son, so I feel like when you have a whole ton of people that have kind of outcast you and cast you aside, it's sort of like, well, I'm not telling y'all nothing anyway. Y'all don't even rock with me like that. So why would y'all could die, So maybe he's at the point where he's like, I'm just going to keep quiet, keep my head low, and, just wait to die.
I think Victor was only going to try and protect Ethan, though, because Ethan saw the little boy. Had Ethan not seen the little boy, I don't think Victor would have done jack. That's just me. But...
Yeah. At the end of this whole series, we're going to find out it was Victor the whole time.
It
was Victor all along.
Well, we do see that Victor drew that creepy puppet again.
The dummy.
Yep. And then we see it's daytime. Elgin awakes and he's talking about folks arriving on the bus, the house next to the diner collapsing, and we lost RJ. I missed that. Oops.
He's up here back.
Oh, see, I was not even listening. You guys, I'm terrible. But obviously, Tabitha's like, hold up, what house? They find out it's their house. Again, her fault. And so as she rushes back to the town, Boyd sees the creepy worms crawl in his skin, and then we now see Victor suspicious of Boyd. So what are your all thoughts between that whole scenario?
I think it's just getting worse for everybody.
I think it's by design.
Victor
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think Victor. No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. But I was gonna say I think Victor knows what's up. I think he knew what was going on with Sarah, and now he sees it in Boyd, and he like, hold up. Now he gonna start trying to kill people because they say to kill people. So I think he like, all right, now I know I have to watch you.
That's a good point about that because the thing did make Sarah do some things. So I hope Boyd come back to the town and start taking out people. And then they, figure out like what's going on with you. You have never acted like this, and then they eventually have to take him out.
Yeah, Sarah did some devious stuff.
Oh yeah,
I'm still not forgiving her. I can't. Oh, I feel bad for Kenny, even though, well, we'll get to that. I'm going to skip to actually Jim, Tom, and Brick trapped underneath the house because actually it's better to end on the diner because that's where everything happens. So we're back to, of course, these three trapped underneath the house, and Brick wakes up and he's just shouting that he can't move. I don't know about you all, but I would probably do that too. I'm just curious. What would you all do in that scenario?
I think I don't know if it was Desiree that said this last time, but they need kind of like a story to tell people to get people to kind of fall in line without letting them know that it's supernatural. I feel like had they said something like, "Hey, there's like aggressive bears out here, like you're gonna have to be quiet or they're gonna maul you." Like they're not saying enough. They're not telling the right lies. They're not, I felt like that could have been handled a lot differently rather than like, "Hey, you have to be quiet." Well, why?
But,
Why do I have to be quiet?
But he just woke up trapped.
I think I would. Well, I would have to stay on the night underneath all that debris, and if I was trapped, I probably would honestly just have to just keep quiet the whole night. I wouldn't say a word to y'all. I would just nod my head and be like,
yeah, but what if you didn't know what was going on though? You don't know you're in a town full of these creatures, or you've been told it, but like more than likely you don't believe it. So you're dying and you're in excruciating pain. Of course you're gonna scream. But if you tell me like, "Hey, there's bears that will finish you off," if you keep screaming like that, I'm more likely to be quiet. That's why I didn't understand why they were like, "No, kid, shush." Like, yeah, that's gonna I'll be quiet as I'm bleeding internally to death. It was weird to me.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about the spider bites. That's a good.
Yeah, that's interesting, Dr. Dev.
Yeah.
I mean, I blocked that purposely out of my mind. So that's thank you for bringing that back. But that's true. I am kind of curious about that. I'm still going to disagree with you guys. I mean, the man did just like house collapsed. He was knocked out. He wakes up and he's trapped. I would scream. Now, yeah, they do go to calm him down. Which that kind of makes me laugh that all Tom had to do was kind of shift and then just put his hand on his foot. It's like, "Oh, I'm right here." I go, that wouldn't do jack.
It really
I wouldn't calm me down.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think I'd be the same way. Like if I woke up and the house collapsed and then, I'm in pain, I would be like, "Yeah, what's going on?" But as soon as they were like, "Shh, gotta be quiet, all right?" I'd be like, "Okay, there's a reason for this. I don't know what the reason is right now, but I'm gonna go with it and try to do my best to be quiet because they know something I don't know. I'm new here." So I mean, I agree with that. I would be screaming in pain and stuff, but as soon as they were like, "Yo, you got to be quiet, just trust us," I'd be like, "I don't know y'all, but y'all know something I don't know, so let me just go ahead and suffer in silence."
I mean, that silence didn't last long since Brick starts coughing up blood, screaming. Even he is the loudest. Man dying. Like
that was the loudest internal bleeding on-screen death I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like
if I was Tom, I would have been like, "Oh, God. let me scoot back over to where I was to get away from him."
Yeah, he's the whole reason why Tom died, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, no, he is, and I'm pissed.
He is.
Absolutely.
I was so.
I saw that coming too. It was kind of sad because he was just way too loud from the beginning. And honestly, even in the last episode when they were covering up the debris, the blankets and stuff, I'm like, what the hell is that gonna do? They still can get through the cracks and do all that, and the next thing you know, he's gone.
Yeah.
And they didn't have a talisman, right? They didn't put that up for them, right?
I mean, it would have worked anyway. You have to be inside like a sealed thing.
No talisman.
Said that because because she was like, "Give him a talisman." Don was like, "It's not going to do anything."
I was bummed about that death.
I'm kind of curious about how that thing got down there because if they couldn't get out, obviously there wasn't enough room for nothing to get in, right? I mean, they're supernatural, so there could have been transformed some kind of way to get down there.
Well, we saw them when what's his name was in the box. They tore that box to shred.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, so I think they can if they know something's there, but if they don't, they'll just move on. But
yeah,
they heard
it
fresh
had
blood.
enough force to pull Tom out of the house. which is crazy.
Yeah. And then I don't know, think about it this way too. They've been playing hide and seek with people probably since the beginning of time. They know how to get in and out of small cracks and crevices to get what they want, especially when they have that, when they're there to eat people. So they're gonna find their way to the people.
Yeah.
How did that house not fall down and cave in some more when that happened? I'm just saying, like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that thing was
maybe
standing
I'm
on
being
a
a little too
miracle.
critical of that. But... So the next part, this is actually this entire scene. Every time we were here, this was my favorite. Was the diner and the rest of the stragglers from the bus, and then also some that were unfortunately didn't make it. So we come to see most of the people from the bus are inside the diner. It is utter chaos, and Donna yells to everyone to calm the F down. Now, it's Bacta, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Okay.
So Bacta tells them they haven't done anything you can't undo. I always love when people say that. They don't really mean that, and asks for them to let them go. And Donna explains that they are not the enemy and the enemy is outside. So if you were some of these new residents and you just heard all of that, what were your thoughts?
I'm gonna stay where I'm at, and I'll figure it out in the morning. But I'm not going out in the night. Like it doesn't matter. Even if they were trying to kick me out, I'm not going out there. So
yeah,
I'm with,
tomorrow.
I'm with Cam. Like, you know what? I'm black. I'm calling it a night. I'm going.
It's the church on fire rule. If you see black people running, assume a church is on fire, and you just need to get out of there.
Right.
Ask questions later when we get to safety.
You see, because at that point you hear the screaming, you see the chaos. You have no choice but to believe. Even if you don't believe it's supernatural, a wild animal, a honey badger, is enough to make me stay in that diner at that point. With those screams, especially when the dad was when Tom was screaming, bloody murder. Oh, I'm not going nowhere. We're good.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Personally, my fat butt, I'm in a diner. Cool. I'll just eat my feelings. We're good.
I was thinking the same thing. Like, we get some pancakes on the
something.
Yeah. I would be
been a long
stressed
day.
eating. Like what?
And then what got me was like, and you have to have that character, but we talked about him earlier, the dude who none of us like. It's chaos, and you're planning a hostile takeover, bro. That can wait till the sun comes up. You hear the chaos and the screaming. Chill out, man. You don't got to be the hero.
I don't know what he thought he was gonna even attempt to do, or like what he thought it was going to solve. We do get to see a little bit more backstory with Christy's character, because she's in the back talking with Mary. And again, this is kind of nice to see that now we're being told that, Christy's been missing for 6 months, because sometimes we're not given like the time frame of how long folks have been there. And she's talking about how, Mary had Christy's family, went to the police, they were searching, and now Mary, though, seeing Christy alive and in this town, not realizing, thanks, she joined a cult, and she's like, I want to leave. Now, again, maybe this is just me, but that is definitely a white person thing.
Yeah.
You joined a cult. Okay. There are signs all around you, and that's what you're thinking. That's what you thought happened.
That's what her mind immediately went to.
Right.
Yeah.
Doing that awful hair job. But you know what? I should be nice. I have some feelings towards Mary that we'll talk about later. But I do like that we get to see that interaction, but it definitely feels that, again, I'm glad we're not rehashing, and each time they do meet somebody or we get introduced that they have to go through the whole spiel, because that would get old. Yeah. So I'm glad they don't do that, but I still felt like Christy could have still said some other things to kind of calm her down.
Yeah, I feel like they're not explaining it good enough, though. They're not explaining it good enough for people to fully grasp what is happening.
I agree with her because they're not. Even the way they're explaining is not to the point where it's like they're making them not panic or just like giving them some kind of sense of like, hey, this is what happening. Like like I said last time, they should have just let him take a lap. When it's bright out, and be like, okay, I'll see you in just a second. If you want to go on the bus, but I mean, they can't now because
I agree with Jay. I get it. The sun was going down, but it wasn't like they were on the cusp of like the sun setting. They could have very easily let them people take 2 or 3 laps around the town and then be like,
yeah,
that bus does not move that fast. I don't know what you all be thinking.
And I'm with Donna. We don't have time for this. I'm tired.
We don't.
By the time they
I'm
get back, they're gonna be running right back in that diner, though. I guarantee you. So go ahead, let them go 2-3 times around.
It reminded
and I'd be
me
sitting
of
right
Queen
there, like,
Ramonda.
you ready?
Yes. Yeah.
Like, dude, I don't enjoy repeating myself. I'm over this. Go out there. Go have at it. But remember, when you're screaming just like they are, no one's coming to help you.
Yeah, I'm with
And
him.
that's and that's why Donna is the MVP of this episode, because he was like, me and my friend, we're gonna go outside and see you. And Donna was like, well, you shoot him, I'm gonna have to shoot you.
Yes.
And then we all gonna be
that was my favorite line of the whole episode, because I'm like, yes, Donna, take control, because honestly, no offense to what's the officer's name, the young
Kenny.
Kenny.
Kenny,
Kenny ain't ready.
He's not there, like if you're talking about with his dad and stuff. So Donna, thank you for stepping up and saying no, you're not going out there because you're going to put everyone else's lives at risk. So
Donna's my favorite character. Donna be eating it alone.
I love Donna.
That was just so good. Like, she didn't waste a beat saying that.
And when the moment came, I saw it in her eyes that she was like, I'm gonna have to shoot somebody today. Like that's like I saw it in her eyes. She said, I'm gonna have to shoot somebody.
Mo, I believe her wholeheartedly. Like there was confidence in that. She said, oh no, I will shoot you. Like there was
no one to mess with, and that dude just keeps trying to push it. I just don't get it.
Yeah,
but
they're stressing her out. She is stressed out.
Hey, Donna is everyone's aunt.
But even that gets tiring. That gets tiring sometimes. Y'all stressing her out. Her hair gonna start coming out.
She knew she needed to step up. She just didn't want to. She was just kind of like, you know what? Until finally she's like, okay, I have to do it now. It's just chaos.
Yeah, because like between the new people coming in and having to explain what's going on with them or with the town, and then also the people who've been there wanting to leave, she's content. She wants to stay. So it's both sides. She's stressed out. And we're going to see her. I feel like that town, and it's by design, is breaking those people down one by one.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to break down
by design.
Yeah. And I hate to say it, but I'm actually looking forward to her break, because I feel like once that character and that strength breaks, her rebuild is going to be crazy.
Ooh, yeah, but there's going to be some wrath people are going to face. That's how I see it. Because you can only be wound so tight that in terms of just like letting go to kind of, just get all that rage and anger out. Ooh. Yeah. And I think anybody that happens with but I think with Donna, it's just going to, considering we see that she's willing to shoot Kenny, I just know she's going to, I'm excited. But speaking of somebody also, I should also say this is, okay, Jade is now my...
No!
Hold on. Jade is the third person I hate. Like, I've got to move him up a little bit, because I'll be damned if Julie didn't get on my last good nerves this episode. And I know she's like, I get it, your dad's under the house, all that. But what are you going to do?
I wanted to knock the shit out of her. Sorry. Like, I just was like, shut up. You know what's happening. Shut up.
Like,
I'm with Cam.
You know what?
Somebody
I hate
slip
to
her an
say
Ambien. Somebody like, I don't know.
I hate to say it, but I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
If that was my dad, F everybody else. Yep. And yes, I know you're not thinking logically. You're just thinking, I need to get to my father.
She wasn't thinking.
I need him. Yeah. He needs me. And it was tough. But seeing her break like that, it broke my heart. Yeah, that was a real cry. That wasn't acting.
Yeah. She killed that.
I know that as an actress. She did her thing with that scene. Yeah. That was well thought out.
And I
will give her that, but ooh, she still got on my nerves. And then we had to have her have that small talk with Kenny, and I was just like, nope. This feels forced, Kenny. Just leave it be.
No, but I agree with Desiree though. I agree with Desiree, like especially like talking about like the performance, and I think like Viola Davis said something like when you play a character, you can't judge them for their actions. You kind of just have to like be. You have to appreciate their actions, I guess, follow through whatever Viola Davis was saying. But in that moment, I kind of thought like, we know there's nothing she could do. But if I were in that situation, I feel like, well, if my mom is not going to be here, like, and I'm listening to her being murdered, I'd rather go out with my mom. So I feel like she was willing to sacrifice everything and say, well, F it, we just both going to be up out of here. So maybe that's what was going through her brain. Like, she didn't care. Phenomenal performance, definitely annoying. Not as annoying as Fatty.
I will say I am not the same way. I like if it were my parents out there, and I love them dearly, and vice versa, but they also know, they're like, you know what, we've had a good life. They would be like, save yourself kind of thing. But also I know my parents would be mad as hell. I go out there only to get them killed, myself killed, and then everybody else. There you
go.
They will haunt me in the afterlife because they're like, you did what?
And you talking, that's a good point to make, because again, I think this is what Donna's getting frustrated about. Stop making stupid choices, putting us all at risk. You guys know better. Nobody here is brand new. We don't know what we're dealing with, but that's enough to stick to the routine. Why do y'all keep complicating it? And then I got to bring my ass in here and clean it up.
I agree. Because Cam, I agree, because in this point, I know you know, for the new people, it's one thing because they still don't know, but if you've been there for a while, you can't let your feelings cloud your judgment because you know what's going on. So at that point, you got to come out those clouds.
I don't think Julie would be strong enough to have somebody else's death or have somebody's death on her hands. I think that would. Surprisingly, I think Ethan would be fine because he'd be in the clouds, but I don't think Julie could handle that.
No.
Especially at the way it happened. Oops, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, at the moment that I was watching that scene, if I was one of the people in the diner and I knew her being loud and everything was going to draw attention to us in the house and stuff, I'd be like, Donna, let me see that shotgun for a minute. She'll be okay in the morning.
And what happened was supposed to happen. It worked out fine. Everyone stayed where they are. And her dad was not everybody.
What worked out fine for
her dad.
Tom.
Let's, RJ, I'm going to make a quick call though to also the couple that goes into the gas station / bar. That was a messed up scene. And I'm going to leave it at that because
I feel bad because we know, and what really broke my heart was there's literally a talisman on the wall.
Yeah. That's right.
You know,
that's right.
Like all they had to do was just chill.
Yeah, she told
we know this with the show. It's not going to end well. It breaks my heart that they were literally safe with the talisman.
If I'm correct, he didn't even move the sheet, did he? To even look to see who was outside?
No.
He was just like, I'm gonna open the door.
No black instincts at all.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. I kind of don't feel bad for them because they were like, oh, open up, we were on the bus. All you had to do was open the blind and be like, I remember them on the bus.
And the old girl was sitting there. She knew. She was looking at him like, do not do this, but she wasn't saying nothing. It's just like, you're gonna let him kill you. You're gonna let him get you killed. If that's my one pet peeve, is people putting other people's self-interest against self-preservation. Like, come on, I would have knocked him out.
See, ladies, let this be a lesson to you. Don't follow behind those stupid ass man. Don't be stupid for no man.
The way she should have just taken a bottle and knocked that man out before he unlocked that door.
Yeah. And this is why we gotta listen to women, because of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or at least have
you letting this dummy lead you over a cliff.
Oh my god, I was so mad at that scene. But of course, then we've got Fatima yelling for others to hide. Ellis is trying to bring her in back to the post office / sheriff's office, and she is legit having a breakdown, which is sad because I don't think we've seen her actually break down like this. Like, she was losing it to the point of where she was kind of not thinking clearly.
She'd have been locked out.
Oh,
I'm sure.
Is this the reverse now?
Because I understand, Julia. I get it. You don't know these damn people. Lock the door and be quiet.
Yeah.
She wasn't yelling from the window now. She outside.
Yeah.
I feel like that's her character and her soul, though.
Yeah.
Like,
from the way she go ahead.
No, yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was going to say, from the way she took in Julie from the first season, that's just her character. Like, she likes to take in, people who seem like they need help, and she wants to help them, but it wasn't no helping them.
No.
Andre's just shaking his head like, nope.
No.
Yeah.
Like, when I tell you, I had to literally close my screen because I was so irritated with her.
She was the one person I actually was like, that was a true character. Like, I saw her character doing that and I agreed with it, and it broke my heart because the scene afterwards was, I think that to me was like the most gut-wrenching scene to watch, because she really, I think, again, like you, Mo, like you had stated, she took in Julie. It seems like she's taken in multiple people to help them kind of transition to this new life that they're in this, effed up world. And I think that's all she wants to do. So that, like, I truly felt for her during that scene.
I did not. I felt nothing. Rage, frustration, panic. Like, I was just as mad as Claire Huxtable was mad at Vanessa for going to see the
They have big fun. They have big fun with the wretched.
Now, no, you're okay. Rage. My body watching Fatima do that.
And see, that's my thing too. I understand her break. We get that, but it's like, you're still gonna get me killed, lady. Break down it, like, just calm down. Being upset to that level doesn't serve anyone in this situation. Just calm down.
Now, AK, you need to start watching that show, but thank you for watching us. But it's not like they were that far away from the door. Now, granted, I don't think those folks could make it in time, but
anything could have happened though. Like, she was so far out the door that if they would have come around the corner, they could have cut her off from being in front of that door. Like, and then she's banging on I was so scared that she was gonna break the glass by accident, banging so hard, and that was gonna break the seal, and now everybody's dead. Like, like Cam said, her rage was letting her put other people in a position to die, and that's what was getting on my nerves. I get it. That's her heart. She's a big-hearted character. But at the end of the day, you are about to cost people their lives because you can't control your emotions for people that are already going to die and that you didn't know before this.
Yeah, they need to realize that they can't save everyone. They're in a situation where literally either you believe me or you don't. So putting everyone on lockdown, I disagree with that. I know you want to save them, but you kind of have to. People still have autonomy. At the end of the day, I told you everything you need to know. You do with it what you will.
Yep.
It's really tough, just because what it does come down to is safety and make sure not to risk, your life or risk everyone else's life just because of your decision. Mm-hmm. But because it's such a seesaw, I agree with Des because you can't really force people to do something in a situation. I mean, I know it's very risky, opening that door and stuff, but sometimes people just gotta find out the hard way. I hate to say it.
F around and find out. No, that's true. I mean, that's true. Yeah. It does suck though that meanwhile though she has to hear them die. Although I did laugh when she's like giving them a finger. I go, ma'am, if that helps you, but that's not doing anything at this point.
No. No. They're still like, you should open the door.
Right. Yeah.
And then we go back to the diner and I still don't know her name. So I just put, yoga rain dance lady sits next to Bachman. And then you've got, that's when D-Bag decides to start a ruckus, wants to get out of the diner, manages, see, this has pissed me off about Kenny. I'm like, you should not have a gun if you can't, you know, like keep hold of it when you're supposed to be law enforcement. Because this man didn't really do much to get your gun and hold you hostage.
Bro.
Like, Kenny, you've got so much going on up here. Like, I feel for you, but
weak sauce. Kenny's weak sauce.
He's
like
really.
It's time to step down for Kenny because there's someone else or somebody. I'm sorry.
If Kenny's mom is stronger than he is. Like,
he puts Jade in check.
I love her character, but
she puts Jade in check, and I like that about her.
But you know what? But you know what though? I feel like certain characters always should have a balance of like both emotional strength and physical strength. And for me, Kenny has neither. He's not mentally strong. He's not emotionally strong. And I don't feel like he's a physical character either. So where does he fall?
I agree.
But whose fault is that? Because Boyd knows he's not ready. Everybody in the damn town knows he's not ready to take on that responsibility. What is with the respectability politics here? Instead of just saying, hey, this ain't really your jam, but let's figure out what is. Donna, come up here. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe you can be like the mayor or something, or because you being law enforcement is not working out. Maybe you need to go in politics.
The welcoming committee, when people come through, put together a presentation and you assimilate them into the environment. Make sure. And if
I agree with Cam though, because I think Boyd unfortunately has some play in this because you can't give him that responsibility, especially knowing what he just went through, and he's still kind of young, so he's not fully there. So
they're just giving him something to do at this point, but he's just not there mentally yet.
They need to
give the badge to Donna.
They need to give him
face his trauma, or his really. That's.
They need to give him some crayons with Victor, and they need to learn to.
I know
RJ, you are so mean.
Draw a map of the town. Gonna name it.
That's hateful.
I would just send Kenny to do laundry or something. Hey, go put water in the bucket.
You're gonna have to learn to do something else because your job ain't working out, brother.
Yeah.
I mean, no, you're not right. Him being like a deputy or a sheriff, not for him. He definitely needs to find something else. And I mean, of course, that standoff is really good, as we all were talking about. Like that is my favorite scene, though. Just Donna being the badass that she is.
Love it.
And I love the look in Kenny's face because you could just tell he kind of like he's not sitting there trying like don't shoot. He's just like. So I give him that. He's like, yeah, I effed up. That's what I got from it.
Yeah.
He
knew.
Yeah, he knew.
But did he care though? I think that's the other part of what's happening with him right now. Did he really care if he stayed or went? That's why I'm thinking.
I feel like he was more embarrassed than anything to me.
It's same category. It's still a demon.
I think it's both of what
I
think it's both of what Cam and RJ are saying. I think it's a little bit of embarrassment mixed with emotion because I feel like if he, if he would have pointed the gun at him, when they were on a one-on-one moment or had a one-on-one moment, then he probably just like close his eyes and be like, just do it or something.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it helps the whole Christy and Mary thing. I think that's also like, you had strike one, strike two. Now you got strike three on this poor kid. Like,
and it's only been a day.
It's been less than a day. Take him out back.
There's a whole new busload of people you got, bro. Find somebody else.
Right?
Yeah.
And of course, though, Donna tells them about the tree in the road, and that kind of calms everyone down a little bit. And, we've already, I forgot. The two people in the diner, their name is Kelly and Brian, but again, they really don't get much. But my favorite, well, actually, not my favorite thing. One thing that I thought was interesting about the monsters. So we see that one creepy dude who honestly reminds me of like a old school like milkman, like going around town. Like he gives this vibe off.
Yeah.
And when he sits on the bus, though, like he's actually like pretending to drive it, and like, and my first thought was, are they more intelligent than I'm giving them credit? Because honestly, I just thought they were killing machines. And that kind of took me aback.
But you know what though? It's sort of like when you watch like a demonic movie or like a ghost
Right.
movie, how demons sort of have like a playful, youthful kind of spirit. That's kind of what I gathered because he looked like a kid behind the wheel. You know, you said your dad's truck like vroom, vroom, like that's what he was having a good time with, or he's about to turn up and pretend to be driving. So I do think these demons do have a playfulness to them because they do also play with their prey. I think they're playful by nature.
Yeah.
Yes, that
Yeah,
they
I think
definitely do.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Think about it this
And that's
way
what he was
also.
like too. When he was in the house, he was touching the stairwell and the walls and just,
Yep.
you know.
Yeah.
Oh,
everything.
he what? Okay.
Just think,
Yeah.
they probably haven't ever walked this earth with a physical body before. So of course they're going to be touching stuff. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
And speaking
They're
of that,
amazed by all of this,
Yeah.
you know, on some level.
and speaking of that, since Cam said physical body, if you notice that how these people, their carcasses are, their chests are always open. So it's like
Yeah.
they're trying to do something with their chest, or like crawl inside them, or just eat them up, or
I don't
something.
know what they're doing. But
Yeah.
Ray said Mr. Smiley is the creepiest of them all.
It's
Smiley's my favorite, but he also creeps me out the most.
He's very creepy. Yeah.
That actor's smile is just it's unsettling, which is very
very
good.
Chester cat. It's like it's such a big smile. It's like
Yeah.
how is your creepy that big?
You have to show us. I love how you had to demonstrate like, how
I had to
wide.
give you an example. Like it goes past his ears. Like how do you smile that big?
He
I never
does.
used it before.
You got that Anthony Hopkins smile.
Yeah. It's almost as
Yeah.
if like, did they give you a prosthetic cheek?
Yeah.
You know, just to kind of.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like to me. That's what I said to her.
Like
I'm gonna have to
nobody's mouth
rewatch
is
that because
big.
now I want to kind of look into that. That's like it's just so creepy. It makes me
Yeah,
think
it's
of like
like-
the whole Smile film when they had that whole marketing campaign. Like I think of
Yeah.
that every time I see
Yes.
him.
Yes.
But he actually freaks me out. So, of course, you know, he ends up finding 2 survivors on the bus.
That was sad.
He was
It's a bad spot.
It was a bad spot. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
all the props with an arms.
Get all the props.
Gotta stay ready.
So, and then we start to, this is at the time when we hear screaming from the house. That's when Brick is being killed and Julie is really losing it. And Donna, and again, I will find out her name, and Yoga Lady is comforting her.
Orange is the New Black.
Yep, that's true.
Which
And
one?
then of course the radio begins to play. It's sunrise, and I'll be damned if they don't rush out of this diner. You see poor old Tom, your bartender, that's the most important person. It really isn't, but still, is like just
Gutted.
Yeah.
we see Jim is alive, so they're all working to get him now out of the house. And then Bacta goes to check on the bus and finds that gruesome, just as 2 people just.
Oh yeah, that couple.
Mhm.
Those old.
That was really sad. I feel like that gutted me more than Tom because like I have a soft spot for old people. Like,
Yeah.
not to say
They
that they're
stayed on the
old.
bus.
Yeah, but they didn't know.
Too nice.
And then you have to think when the gunshot ran off. I mean, when the gun went off and they scattered. You know, they're so old. They probably like tiptoed away, thinking they was running at full speed. I don't know. I just felt bad for them. I felt
Tiptoe
bad
by
for
the
them.
window.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
No, they stayed on the bus. That's on them.
Damn.
My thing is that like homegirl had her head all up and whatnot. She's like, "Ooh," like
Yep.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
that was kind of dumb. I mean, but she didn't know, I guess, because she was like, "Oh, I thought we were on the bus," and then that's when he was like, "You picked a bad spot." I was like, "Oh."
You know, the fact that they
sorry.
didn't
I
even
don't
try to
feel
close
bad.
the doors. If they hit on the bus, they left
Yeah.
that door wide open.
Yeah, and I think they would have, well, maybe not. I mean, they didn't have a talisman on the bus, but I mean, if they didn't come on that bus, they probably would have survived the night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh well.
yeah.
Well, R.I.P. to them.
Yeah.
But so I'm curious. with this episode and it's just being a very character centric episode, where do you think we're going to go with the next one? Or what would you like to see as well?
I mean, I think like hell's gonna break loose, dude. I feel like they're intentionally taking out the strongest characters in the town. Do y'all feel that way too?
Yeah.
I feel like they're almost targeting certain people because they know that if they break them, nobody else has a chance. So again, I'm just here for like trying to piece it together, trying to figure out what exactly is going on. And I will say, y'all got to give us something soon because I'm tired of being frustrated when I'm watching. So give me something to work with here. So
I'm curious about the next song. It's something about the music, that the choice of music that plays in the diner.
It feels
because that last song was "Who's by the Fire." I did a little bit of digging, and it's like connected to like a Jewish prayer, some way. Yeah, if you do a little bit of digging, you'll find. And the song essentially means death. Who will die by the fire. And then also something with the talisman. I keep seeing that, like, I guess it's connected to like what do I want to say? Oh, Hebrew symbols. And so that's kind of, I guess we can say some of the meanings of it has to do with like Holocaust. And remember what happened with the Holocaust was experimenting. Is this whole thing an experimentation in some way? I don't know, but it kind of, I know I'd be going down the rabbit hole. I did research.
You're on the right path because I feel like that's ritualistic, and I feel like the hearts, I feel like they're getting their hearts for something.
Yeah.
Maybe they have to do this to help power the entity. Maybe that's why they're getting.
True. They manifest without issue. There's got to be some energy driving that.
Have we? I like that you. That's very fascinating because now I'm like thinking, have all the ghosts or apparitions, whatever, they've all been white people?
No, there was a black woman in the first season where they got what is it, the community house. Yeah, there was a black person.
Okay, all right.
Okay. But that person could be Jewish too. Who knows?
Very true. Yeah. But when you're like you were talking about that, that's very interesting.
Oh, thank you, Miss Ma'am. That's so sweet. I just research.
I don't clearly.
I think the most important thing out of all the things right now is going to come from Elgin. And I know I keep bringing that up, but seriously, it's because I feel like he's just, he's been there. I mean, obviously, because of what happened on the bus. And I think a main source, it won't be the center of the core, but I think we'll get something from Elgin that's really important to what happened. And that whole trust thing with that situation with, in the truck when they stayed the night, he said he didn't trust him. Something's just not right. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm excited.
Yep.
Victor had a reason, I guess, to say that he didn't trust Elgin. I just want to know what again, they don't ask the right questions. I was like, why? Why, Victor? Why do you think
exactly?
That? Maybe it's the psychologist in me.
Well, maybe like you said, baby, I think it's maybe Elgin was a part of a ritual or something at that time because this is his second time around. And he came back, and maybe Elgin doesn't know he has something in him, but like he can sense a dark presence within him or something.
Or it goes back to what you guys said earlier. It's like, why isn't no one asking questions? The fact that no one has, well, I guess we haven't gotten into a scene where they can really sit down with Elgin. But what I want to see is them say, you said turn the bus around. Like you knew. Like, how did you know? Like we need to have conversations. Put it that way.
Yeah.
Victor, his crayons, everybody that knows something, they all sit in a room together and come up with something together.
Right.
Yeah. And I think that is gonna have to happen at least in like the next episodes where they all come together.
Wait, what?
Interesting.
Okay.
Victor drew a picture of the town inside a snow globe thing, which made me think of the controlled observation.
Interesting.
Okay.
Did he?
Okay.
Well, I need to.
Yeah, that's right.
This turns out to be some Truman Show stuff. I'm just saying.
It makes me think of Krampus at the end of Krampus.
Yes.
When they have
yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
My
Mhm.
God.
It's
But they
shocking.
were
giving,
Yeah. Go ahead.
this show is giving Wayward Pines in a way too. Just
It is.
something
It
is
is.
going on with the location,
Yeah.
where they,
Right.
I just, my wheels
And
are
even
turning.
dude,
But
It
they
just put
pinpointed
homeboy
a
on the
map
map
and
being a
lost.
Marine.
I'm gonna get real pissed.
Well, what's his name? Martin was a Marine. It does lend that military aspect to it, though, doesn't it? That's not just there for no reason.
Like maybe it's military experiments.
Or maybe the
Something is
government-
going.
or maybe the government found something and they opened something that they didn't know what they were dealing with.
Like the
Yeah.
mist.
Wouldn't
Remember
be the first time
mist?
they've done that.
I
Yeah.
can see that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the mist. That's what I thought of.
Mm.
Oof.
Tough to
Interesting.
say.
And Stranger Things, weaponizing things we have no business touching.
Yeah. And not
Trying to.
Well,
Right.
Stop touching stuff.
sounds like the government. Well, I mean, I enjoyed this episode. I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see everyone's reaction to the next couple of episodes. Sounds a bit like Winona. I need to watch Winona. Or
Yeah, I keep
Not
saying I'm
watched
gonna check it out, but I never do. I gotta put it on my list.
so. But before we go, I just want to say thanks everybody again. This is still also my first time trying to host with a whole bunch of people, and normally when on our channel when we have people, we're all drinking. So this is different. Having to have like use brain cells right now, but no, this has been.
we
really
weren't
fun.
supposed to drink.
Oh. I really am enjoying the show. I'm looking forward to seeing. I'm jealous. I'll be talking to you, RJ, about episode 6 after this. Then apparently,
Yes.
but I would have to just say, where can everybody find you? So first, I hadn't seen. Well, I love that too. So thank you. So Desiree, where can people find you?
You guys can find me on Instagram at Desiree Geraldine.
Awesome. And how about yourself, Jay?
You can find me on TikTok, Hero Harrison Talk, and I finally got my YouTube going. So you can now subscribe to my channel, Hero Harrison Talk. I just put a video up today, so I got some other content coming in the future. And yeah, that's where you can find me at.
Awesome. And because I don't know why it's a tongue twister. Killer Cam. There we go. Yes, I didn't mess up this time.
It's all good. You guys can find us at Blurred Up Reacts. Me and Mo are getting ready to get back into content, and it's not going to be average stuff. We're coming hard this time around. So.
What content are you putting out?
Only that. No, I'm playing. Like a little horror with my wee-wees. So, I mean, no, I'm playing.
I'm not a part of that. I don't know. We haven't had that discussion.
Well, and RJ, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on most social media platforms at the Silver Site. Type it in. One of them would be me. There's a couple of people who have the name, but yeah, my photo's up there, so you'll find it. And the link's in the description in case you get confused. So.
Well, just to say again, thank you, everybody. This was a fun discussion. I'm looking forward to. Yes, I have. I know I have. I don't know if they care about the Met Gala outfits, but I have, Miss Ma'am. So I'll just let you know on that. But thanks to everybody. Really enjoy this discussion and look forward to next week. And with that, I'll say, till next time, y'all.
Till next
Later.
time.